Welcome to Stoic True Wisdom, where we uncover the timeless truths of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and apply them to the challenges of modern life. Here's a question to start. If words are wind, why do they decide our weather? Epictetus would remind us, it's not what they say that disturbs us, but how we judge it. The most dangerous manipulations don't shove you, they nudge you. They don't show their face. They wear phrases like masks. Meet someone like Alex. A normal day, coffee cooling on the desk, a phone lighting up with messages, a meeting beginning. The world looks calm, but language can tilt the ground under your feet. Today, 8 phrases will try to move Alex. Our task is not to silence them. It's to see them clearly and choose our response. The first arrives like a shrug. You're overreacting. Translation: your feelings make my life inconvenient. This phrase is a lever used to lift your reality out of place. The Stoic move? Return to facts. Perhaps. Here are the specifics I'm responding to. Let's focus on what happened. You anchor in what you can control, your clarity, rather than in their dismissal. Marcus said we have power over our mind, not outside events. Choose that power. Then comes the velvet blade. No offense, but translation. I want a wound without consequence. It's a shield that invites cruelty while dodging accountability. The Stoic reply is calm and firm. If it's important, say it respectfully or not at all. You are not obligated to accept a blow because it was wrapped in courtesy. Set the boundary without malice. A colleague leans in. I'm just being honest. Translation: I'm using honesty to excuse carelessness. Honesty without virtue is brutality. Seneca would call it untrained emotion. Try this. I value honesty. I value kindness too. Put it in a way that helps us improve. If they cannot, it wasn't honesty. They were feeding themselves, not the truth. A text buzzes. We should hang out sometime. Translation: I want the feeling of connection without committing to it. Not every vague invitation is fake, but patterns tell the truth. The Stoic answer removes fog. I'm free Thursday at 6. If that doesn't work, I'll assume now isn't a good time. Clear offers reveal real intentions. No resentment necessary. At lunch, someone tightens the leash. I did it for your own good. Translation: I made a choice for you to keep control. This phrase steals your agency, then calls it kindness. The Stoic move is to reclaim choice without drama. I appreciate the concern. In the future, involve me in decisions about my life. We are rational beings. To live according to nature is to choose in alignment with reason, our own, not another's. The group chat starts to hum. Everyone's saying, translation: I want to pressure you with a crowd I may or may not represent. Triangulation is a foghorn, loud, but often directionless. Ask for names and facts. Who specifically? What exactly did they say? If the details dissolve, so does the tactic. Your peace rests on reality, not rumors. A joke lands like a slap. You flinch. I was just joking. Translation: I want the freedom to insult with the option to retreat. Humor is a fig leaf for contempt when it refuses to own its impact. Try this. If it's meant kindly, it won't require me to swallow disrespect. Let's keep the humor clean. No rage, just daylight. Jokes can't breathe there if they need the dark. Finally, the hook. If you really cared, you would. Translation: your love is a lever I pull when I want my way. Love is a gift, not a contract. The Stoic response is steady. Care doesn't equal compliance. I'll do what's right, not what proves something. We belong to ourselves first because virtue cannot be rented. 8 phrases, 8 masks. Notice the pattern. Each tries to move your center outside of you, into their opinion, the crowd's rumor, the fog of guilt. This is the heart of manipulation. It steals your judgment and sells it back as peace. Here is the turning point. Mid-conversation, Alex feels the old surge, the pulse, the heat, the urge to fight or fold. But then, a breath, a small inner step back. The Stoics trained this moment like a muscle. Step 1, separate appearance from judgment. They spoke these words. I add the meaning. Step 2. Return to what is yours, your reason, your choices, your tone. Step 3. Act with character or withdraw with dignity. Amor fati, love your fate, even when it includes people who test your boundaries. Why? Because every test is practice. Every slippery phrase is a weight that, lifted calmly, makes you stronger. You don't need to fix them. You need to master you. So here are the responses you can carry, simple and firm. When you hear you're overreacting, say, I'm naming what matters to me. Let's address the facts. When you hear no offense, but say, if it's important, say it respectfully. When you hear I'm just being honest, say, let's be honest and kind. Otherwise, it's not helpful. When you hear we should hang out sometime, say, great. Suggest a time or let's skip it. When you hear I did it for your own good, say, next time let me decide what's good for me. When you hear everyone saying, say, who specifically? Let's deal in facts. When you hear I was just joking, say, humor doesn't need contempt. Keep it respectful. When you hear if you really cared, you would say, care doesn't mean compliance. I'll do what's right. None of these require raised voices. None require a performance. They require what the Stoics cultivated: clarity, courage, self-command. Seneca wrote, a man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is. The fake person's phrases are invitations to convince yourself you are helpless, guilty, unworthy. You don't have to RSVP. Marcus would ask, is this within my control? If yes, speak plainly. If no, let it pass like weather. Epictetus would add, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit. Practice non-complicity. Be the still hand that doesn't twitch when strings are pulled. This isn't about catching bad people. It's about refusing to abandon your character when their words get slippery. Let them keep their masks if they must. You keep your virtues, wisdom enough to see, courage enough to speak, temperance enough to stay calm, justice enough to hold the line. Protect your peace not by shouting down every phrase, but by understanding what each one tries to do and choosing your response with dignity. In the end, you don't need to win the argument. You need to keep your soul. So ask yourself, before the next conversation, which words will you grant power over you? And who do you choose to be when they arrive?